Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Smoker coming at you with my review of Morbius and the things I do for my viewers. So, Morbius is Sony's latest attempt at making a franchise around a Spider-Man supporting character, but rather than go with a somewhat recognizable character who has had numerous arcs as an antagonist or supporting character, they went with a character who popped up and who's popped up quite a bit for an issue or two and had some solo ongoing series of middling success. Well, I mean, okay, the 90s, there was that brief period in the 90s where Morbius was actually kind of popular, but when that ended, it ended. Anyway, it's not a long movie. I can say that about it. But Sony, just please, just sell the Spider-Man rights back to Marvel already. I mean, no one wants to see you hurt yourself like this. We care about you. You got plenty of other franchises. You can focus on those instead, you know? It's not all about Spider-Man. It can be about other things, too. Okay, moving on to the review itself. Our cast of note, we have Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius, a brilliant doctor with a rare blood disease, who, in trying to cure said blood disease, turns himself into a, well, as it states in the comics, a living vampire. Matt Smith as Milo, or actually Lucian. Dr. Morbius' childhood best friend has the same blood disease as Morbius, and the two names thing comes from the fact that they first met when Morbius was in a hospital as a child, and Lucian was brought in and placed in the bed next to Michael. And apparently there had been a handful of kids who'd been in the bed next to Michael, who the first one being Milo, and Morbius just constantly called each one New Milo, to the point where he just, as him and Lucian grew up, he continued to just refer to him as Milo. Then we have Adria Arona, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, as Dr. Martine Bancroft, friend and colleague of Morbius, and later his romantic interest. I'm not going to say it feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it's just like, I don't know, it felt a little shoehorned in. Like there was an entire movie to bring it up. And then the point they do, like, we're about 2/3 into this movie, and this is when you finally decided to do something with that? Yeah. Jared Harris as Dr. Emil Nikos, who is Morbius' mentor and his doctor since childhood. Also, he is Milo's doctor as well. Tyrese Gibson is Simon Stroud, an FBI agent investigating the deaths surrounding Morbius from about a third of the movie in. Al Madrigal as Agent Rodriguez, Agent Stroud's partner, same task. And Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. He doesn't do a lot. It's just him being who is noteworthy. So the movie begins with the trip to Costa Rica with trying to catch the bats, and then we get Morbius' origin, or his past, where Lucian is brought in and to the hospital, placed in the bed next to Michael. Michael starts calling him New Milo, and explains that after him there'll be another New Milo, and so on and so forth. However, as during their daily treatment, machine that's being used to facilitate Lucian's treatment malfunctions, and so Michael fixes it. And Doctor Nichols, like, you fixed this. You're brilliant. There's, we can put you. There's a school that will work really well for you. We'll put you in there. And so then, yeah, years later, he apparently it's explained, like, at the age of 19, Morbius got his PhD in medicine, and he also accepted a Nobel Prize. But then he goes into international waters to test his new serum, and it succeeds all too well, and he slaughters everyone on board the ship before setting out a mayday and abandoning ship. Well, almost everyone. He doesn't kill Dr. Bancroft. He has to hide for a while, but he eventually is arrested, put in jail, but it's revealed that that Milo has taken the serum as well, which admittedly does make for a fairly decent homage to the end of Usual Suspects. So I don't think it was intentional. And we get the big dichotomy between Michael and Milo. That Michael sees what he's done to himself as a curse. Milo's just like, just embrace what you are. We should embrace what we are. Which leads to the big divide between them. And, of course, tensions mount, hijinks ensue. Big fight. Stuff happens. Not going to go into spoiler territory. If you're that desperate to watch the movie, I mean, go for it, I guess. But the ups and downs of the movie, on the upside, we've got Matt Smith. Barely. I mean, honestly, there are attempts at... There are some attempts at, humorous moments that most of which just kind of fall flat. I don't... Maybe it's just that the joke is just horribly telegraphed, but there's one that Matt Smith has, and he delivers. It's probably one of the better lines in the film, actually. He's asked how his pain is one day. He says, on a scale of 1 to 10, he says, 11. I'm sure it was not meant. It's not meant as some kind of nod to the fact that he was the 11th Doctor on Doctor Who, but you have done it. That actually did kind of bring a smile to face, as opposed to the "I'm hungry, you wouldn't like me when I'm hungry" line, which kind of made me cringe a little. Like, you went there. Oof. Anyway, on the downside, this is actually kind of the big one. The movie can't decide whether it wants to be a horror movie or a superhero movie. Now, it can be both. Don't get me wrong, it can, but it doesn't try to be both. At least not in some kind of way like, oh, well, we're a horror movie with superheroes. It tries to have its cake of being a superhero movie and eat the cake of being a horror movie. And they could have done a lot better, but they didn't. Also, there's some of the visual effects that just look messy. I mean, I get what they were going for sometimes with the the trails coming off of people flying, but that just no. It makes the visuals just look messy. Like, I can forgive the way the echolocation bit works, but the flight just. Somebody honestly should have said to the producers and the visual effects team, no, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Because, yeah. Anyway, final thoughts. it's a perfect example of why building a franchise around supporting characters from a larger franchise without the larger character is a bad idea. I mean, yeah. Rating wise, at 2 out of 5. I think that's I kind of feel like I'm being a little charitable, but yeah, someone stage an intervention with Sony already. Jeez, get them to stop this crap, because yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for now. Oh, one other thing. Since we're not really going into spoilers because I don't do spoiler reviews. If you want to talk, if you see the movie, you want to talk spoilers, or you just have spoilery questions, comments, I will happily answer them. I tend to reply to comments, but yeah, I'll happily answer any spoilery comments or questions in the comments. But yeah, that'll do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.